That's trash.
What's up guys, it's your boy Lolo here, and today we're going to be talking about how this thing failed. So I think one of the biggest problems with the Wii U was how bad the launch was. It launched at a price of $299 for the basic set that came with 8 gigabytes of storage. Yeah. Or for $50 more you could get 32 gigs of storage, a charging cradle, and a stand, and a copy of Nintendo Land. Most people didn't want to pay this much money for a second console, you know? Alright, so the Wii U launched with 23 games. They were Call of Duty Black Ops 2, Skylanders Giants, Transformers Prime, Wipeout 3, Epic Mickey 2, The Power of 2, FIFA Soccer 13, Tekken Tag Tournament 2, New Super Mario Bros. U, Ninja Gaiden Razor's Edge, Nintendo Land, Sing Party, Sonic and All-Stars Racing Transformed, Wario Sorochi 3 Hyper, Darksiders 2, Assassin's Creed 3, ESPN Sports Connection, Just Dance 4, Rabbids Land, Your Shape, Fitness Evolve 2013, Zombie U, Scribblenauts Unlimited, Game Party Champions, and Batman Arkham City Armored Edition. I think most of these games' problems were they were already released on other systems, or they had weird little ports on the Wii U, like the Arkham City Armored Edition. Really wasn't worth it, picking it up as it was already on other consoles that most people had by then. Another point is most of these games, people wouldn't buy a Wii U for most of these games. People that really wanted to play Call of Duty and all this stuff probably already had an Xbox, you know? I feel like that was a really big problem. Another pretty big problem is most third parties jumped ship after this. After the low sales that the Wii U got and the low sales that their games would get. Like the max for their games was maybe getting 1 million sales, and I doubt any third party games even came close to that. Which is pretty sad, honestly, for a Nintendo console. But yeah, they would have to have been scaling their games, and that's something third parties are now doing for the Switch. That's because how many sales the Switch has. The Wii U just didn't have that support, so taking the time to scale a game wasn't worth it for third parties. There was another pretty big problem with the Wii U, and that pretty much all the exclusives had versions similar to, or maybe even the same game in some cases, on 3DS. And I mean, they were lower definition and all, but you could take it on the go. So yeah, some of these examples were, instead of just playing New Super Mario Bros. U, you could play the second one on 3DS, which in my opinion was a better game overall, mostly because you could take it on the go, but I thought the coin thing was pretty cool. Same thing for Lego City Undercover, Mario Party 10, you could just play Island Tour on the 3DS. They brought NES Remix to the 3DS, Super Mario 3D World, that had Land on the 3DS. And Zelda remasters, yeah, they had that on the 3DS too. They probably weren't as clear, but they were 3D, so. Captain Toad, they brought that to the 3DS, which is a little disappointing. Like, you could have kept that on the Wii U, Nintendo, come on. Donkey Kong Country, they had that on both. Kirby, honestly, better on the 3DS. Smash, that was on both. That was a big problem, but it did do well on the 3DS, so. Yoshi, on both. Better on the Wii U, but still. Even Xenoblade, they brought to the new 3DS, which is pretty crazy. Like, Xenoblade, they were able to get that running on a 3DS. That amazes me right there. I have to give them props for that. And you could take them all on the go, which is pretty crazy. Another really big problem was just the gamepad overall. It was so ugly, and it looked so dated, that most people were probably scared away. They were trying to get the core gamers and the casuals by keeping the Wiimote around, which most games honestly didn't use anymore. It was mostly based around the gamepad. So, casual gamers were scared away by this big complex tablet thing, while the, core gamer market that they were trying to get was like, no, what is this trash? No one's buying this. All my friends are on Xbox or PlayStation. Why would I switch over to this? To keep a decent price, they had to cut down on the hardware, and it was barely more powerful than the 360 and the PS3, and that was a pretty big problem. So overall, I kind of wish they sold it without the gamepad. Like, the same price, so they could have much better hardware, as powerful as the PS4 and Xbox One. Gamepad accessory, so games that use the gamepad would be optional. Like, you would never be required to have the gamepad. Maybe a select few games. Which would be, I feel like, kind of how PSVR is working. And I feel like that would have been a really good idea on their part. I feel like it would have worked out a lot better for them. Another funny thing that happened to them, the Dreamcast. They launched a year earlier than their competitors. And that's what the Wii U did. The funny thing is, both of them flopped. The Wii U got the idea for this, they got the idea for the screen on the, controller from the Dreamcast. Probably shouldn't take ideas from a dead console. Another problem the Wii U did have, is the same problem the Switch has. The Wii U doesn't have it as bad, but the online was pretty bad. It was definitely a step up from the Switch, and definitely a step up from the Wii, but it was still pretty bad, and it was not even close to what PSN was, even at the launch time, or the Xbox Live was miles ahead of both of them, honestly. But yeah, that was definitely a big problem that ended up killing them. Man, after looking back at this video, maybe the Wii U wasn't so bad. I mean, we got those nice, great launch titles, like Your Shape. Man, I sunk so many hours into that. And ESPN Sports Connection? That's my jam! And all the memes we got from the ads were amazing. Thank you, Nintendo, for creating this amazing, beautiful console.